Imagine standing in a pitch-black room. A floorboard snaps. Without seeing a thing, your head instinctively turns, locking onto the exact spot that noise originated. This pinpoint accuracy begins with basic physics. A sound coming from your right hits your right ear a fraction of a millisecond before it wraps around the skull to hit your left. Biologists call this the interaural time difference. Simultaneously, your dense skull creates a sound shadow. It physically blocks high-frequency waves, making the snap slightly quieter by the time it reaches that opposite ear, a metric known as the interaural level difference. Your auditory cortex processes these tiny discrepancies in timing and volume instantly. Armed with these two data points, your brain can perfectly track any object moving along a horizontal left-to-right axis. However, this spatial math fails the moment a sound moves into the median plane, meaning it comes from directly in front of you, directly behind you, or directly above you. Because human ears are placed symmetrically, a sound originating dead center in front of your nose travels the exact same distance to reach both ears. It arrives at the exact millisecond, at the exact same volume. The same thing happens if the sound comes from the back of your head. This creates a massive 3D spatial blind spot, known as the cone of confusion. Any noise originating along this perimeter feeds your brain identical timing and volume data, making it impossible for the brain to distinguish front from back. According to the strict physics of a two-receiver system, you shouldn't be able to tell if a threat is charging straight at your face or sneaking up right behind you. Yet in reality, you can. To survive, human biology had to develop a way to break this symmetry and calculate direction where geometry would otherwise leave us blind. This leads us to the pinna, the visible, lumpy cartilage on the side of your head. For centuries, the outer ear was dismissed as a vestigial organ, a simple, passive funnel to scoop up sound. Modern psychoacoustics defines it as a highly sophisticated directional encoder. The architecture of the ear is defined by extreme asymmetry. There are no repeating patterns. The sweeping outer ridge looks unlike the deep inner bowl, and the front profile is drastically different from the back. When a sound wave strikes this terrain, the signal splits. While some sound travels directly down the canal, the rest ricochets off the various ridges, creating a series of micro-delayed reflections that eventually combine with the direct sound. These tiny, delayed physical bounces provide the raw data the brain needs to calculate vertical height and front-to-back positioning. This chart illustrates comb filtering. Direct sounds mixing with micro-reflections create interference that boosts or mutes specific frequencies. Because the ear is asymmetrical, high-angle sounds create drastically different reflection patterns than low-angle ones. If the source shifts, the interference wave changes shape. This creates an angle-specific frequency footprint called a head-related transfer function, a spectral cue unique to the specific shape of your head and ears. Your auditory cortex instantly analyzes this frequency graph, factoring in the natural 3 kHz resonant boost of the ear canal to pinpoint a 3D coordinate. The pinna functions as an organic, real-time equalizer, physically imprinting spatial coordinates onto every sound wave before it ever touches the eardrum. This biology explains a common perceptual anomaly we encounter when putting on a pair of standard stereo headphones. If you're listening to a record through headphones, the music often feels like it's trapped directly inside your skull, rather than playing in the room around you. This is a mechanical bypass. Because the speakers fire audio straight down the ear canal, the sound never interacts with the ridges and folds of the outer ear. By removing the pinna from the acoustic chain, the audio is stripped of the spectral cues the brain relies on for spatial mapping. When the brain is starved of these natural external reflection cues, it assumes the sound source is originating from inside the head. Modern spatial audio technologies and virtual reality break this in-head effect by artificially recreating what the headphones remove. Audio engineers use complex algorithms to apply HRTF frequency filters directly to the digital audio. By mathematically mimicking the exact frequency distortions the pinna would have created in the real world, the software tricks the brain into perceiving sounds moving in 3 dimensions. This lumpy cartilage functions as a sophisticated, high-precision acoustic antenna evolved specifically to turn a geometric blind spot into a 3-dimensional map.